Well, everything's an instrument.
You know, when you're making your tea in the morning and you like your little tea jar taps against it and you hear a little resonance, and you know, that's like you're creating sound art whether you know it or not.
Tom Rashan was the one who said, you know, why don't we actually start a Los Angeles Free Music Society, when it was really like 3 hippie weirdos. We thought it was hilarious because, you know, it was like a joke. But then, you know, when Tom and his friends, you know, like said, why don't we put out more records and put on some shows and we'll use that name.
It basically wasn't real. It was something they made up. And there were enough of us to make it real.
You kind of end up maybe dumbing it down sometimes and just saying we're an art and music collective.
This was a brand new cheap Epiphone that I cut the neck on and put this fancy hinge on. I'm gonna fix it up and take it to Fender and propose that they market a fender bender. Lazy way to make music.
The business of real estate actually works, and that's where Oaks. It's a foodie's paradise. Gnarly
We're all investigating what we can do with sound, and we sort of called it noise because at the time, if you called it music, people would get in an argument with you. People have told me they hear our records, especially our early ones, and they get this sense that these people are just doing whatever they want, and they don't care whether you like it or not.
You know, rock and roll records that we liked, like the jam records like Jimi Hendrix or Led Zeppelin, they just start to get to the interesting part, and then they end because they're held down by, you know, the rhythm and the vocals and everything, and, you know, just when it's starting to get good and you want it to take off into space, the record ends.
Hendrix never sounded quite like this.
I'm essentially sweetening the sound using tape, returning the audio that once lived on tape back to tape where it can live again.
The sound of a backwards tape, people would freak out. Now you turn on the radio and there's reverse sounds on pop tunes, and I'm really happy that sound has entered into the realm of music more.
You probably couldn't really tell that I was actually manipulating tape, right? You just heard a musical performance.
It's a nice little instrument. Of course, I put the LAFMS sticker on it to give it validity. This, one of my favorites. A friend of mine gave this to me. He had found it in a trash can in East LA. It's a one-string box. Just has really a wonderful sound to it. For a long time, I could not look at a piece of wood without thinking of what musical potential it had. I have a pocket trumpet that I have a strange perversion of putting a bassoon reed on it, and it has a rather hard to define sound.
Lots of times it would we'd just be playing stuff that was not any kind of traditional instrument. Tom Rochon was a master of the lowest tech sort of homemade instrument. I think the most impressive one in terms of its low tech value was the nail shoe, which was a 2x4, just whatever 2x4, and you pound a bunch of nails in it and put a strap on it, and you put the shoes on, and then you walk, kind of scrape around on concrete. That was an instrument, very dangerous thing to play. Sonically, his most impressive instrument was undoubtedly the strungophone, which is a 2x4 with a cymbal on it, and then he would stretch a guitar string over it so it was nice and tight, and then he would attach a bread bag clip and slip it onto the string and pull up on the string, and then you would move the clip by pulling up on the string, creating a vibration that sounded like banshees wailing.
Airway was a concept that Joe Potts came up with, and it's basically him playing subliminal voice tracks underneath sort of a band playing just noise music.
Anybody can plug into Airway, but you know, I'm at the control panel, so what comes out of Airway is what I want. You know, I've referred to it as electronic fascism.
This was a wall of sound, and it was electronic. It was really loud, but I really liked the concept because Joe had all these subliminals that he worked with.
The infamous one was a Valentine's Day, and I put a lot of love-related things.
The audience seemed to get extremely randy and attack Vetsa and attack Dennis like sexual assault territory.
All of a sudden, two guys came on stage and you know, I was a tiny little thing, and one grabbed me on either side and started just sort of bouncing me up and down.
To the point where I like took my bass and smacked someone across the head, and he had this little cut here with a little drip of blood coming down his nose, and there was practically no stopping him. And when Joe told Vetsa, well, I was putting porn images out through the, you know, orgasm, sounds of orgasms, Vetsa said, no, never again.
So I got asked not to use those subliminals again.
Those same instruments today might sound like this.
This is Dennis Duck Goes Disco. This is the vinyl. He would take flexi discs and crumble them up and then flatten them out and play them.
The first person that I ever played it for was Tom Rashawn. We sat in a parking lot in my car and I played it for him. And he claims that he really loved it, so I'm going to take him at his word.
Then the drums boom boom with the bing zing zoom, and it comes out fine and true. So remember what I say when the band begins to play. That's where the music comes from. From a, that's where the music comes from.
That is an epiphany. That is an epiphany.
Oh, hi. I'm Phyllis Diller. Welcome to my crib. Hi. I'm Mitchell Brown. Come on in, let's have some fun.
Gonna play this one of this discotheque on Friday night. I think what we were intended to do was more and more stuff. I think what we were intended to do was reach into our butts and grab more stuff. I think what we were intended to do was reach into our butts and grab more stuff. I think
To do improvisation, you have to have a certain mindset.
It's like a communion thing. You try and, you know, think with one mind.
You have complete freedom, but you have to be listening. You have to be tuned into what's around you.
I'm not a surfer, but I can imagine the first time you stand up on your board for 2 seconds, that feeling hooks you, you know, so people are going to keep going back out and trying to get a longer ride, and that's what improvisation was kind of like for me.
I think we're really lucky to have found each other because there is a real sense of trust with each of us. I'm getting a little choked up actually thinking about it because there's been no pressure to force anyone to do anything other than the way they do it. And as it keeps unfolding, we keep coming together in new ways. Wow, that's pretty great. You know, I don't think there's many other organizations like it.